You know, school environments work incredibly hard. Just think about it for a second. Your corridors are carrying thousands of footsteps literally every single day. Your gymnasium walls, well, they double as high-impact event backdrops. And common areas are somehow expected to clearly communicate identity, direction, and safety, all without getting in the way of actual learning. But here's the real problem we're all facing. Budgets and schedules are tighter than ever. If you're overseeing campus facilities, you already know that traditional wall treatments simply can't keep pace with these modern demands. So in today's Explainer, we're going to dive into a strategic briefing. As experts in this space, we're going to show you exactly how modern technology is revolutionizing facility operations and completely rewriting the rules on how we approach institutional wall graphics. So here's our game plan for this Explainer. First, we'll look at the campus wall challenge. Second, the direct-to-wall solution. Third, strategic campus applications. 4, durability and lifecycle ROI. And finally, number 5, we'll look at some real case studies in action. Let's get to it.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the campus wall challenge, diagnosing facility failures.
Now, a lot of districts start with what they know, right? Brush-painted murals, vinyl wraps, maybe some traditional wallpaper. But let's be real, over time, the edges of that vinyl always start to lift and bubble under daily wear and humidity. It's so frustrating. Those seams just trap dirt and grime in high traffic zones. Painted murals get scuffed up, and the touch-ups, they never quite match perfectly. And when it's finally time to remove them, you're basically paying highly skilled laborers to painstakingly scrape glue off walls in 2024. And let's face it, they're probably going to rip the drywall right off while they're at it. Now, compare that headache to today's modern educational demands. We're talking hospital-grade wipe-downs, incredibly tight budgets, and crazy fast overnight turnarounds. The legacy methods, they just absolutely cannot survive in a modern facility.
And you know, the headaches do not stop at maintenance. When you're relying on prefabricated panels, you are entirely at the mercy of shipping delays. It's completely out of your control. And if site conditions vary even slightly from the original plans, boom, you are hit with change orders. You're constantly battling multi-trade coordination, trying to wrangle specialty installers who book out weeks in advance. And that often pushes all this messy work straight into active class time, which is a nightmare. Plus, panelized graphics leave these visible, ugly seams, and you have to set up temporary barricades that disrupt critical egress routes and bell schedules. In short, traditional methods disrupt your operations, they create totally avoidable compliance hazards, and they just flat out fail to maintain district-wide brand consistency.
Which brings us to a real game changer. Section 2, the direct-to-wall solution, the technological leap in educational graphics. The answer to all this chaos is direct-to-wall printing. Simply put, this is an on-site process utilizing specialized vertical equipment to lay down UV-cured inks, creating high-resolution, seam-free imagery directly onto building surfaces. What this actually means for you is that we are turning your existing substrates, whether we're talking drywall, CMU block, brick, or even concrete, into stunning, high-resolution canvases. No adhesives, no panels, absolutely no wallpaper.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how tightly controlled and professional the execution actually is. It all kicks off with discovery and design, where we align the project scope directly with your academic calendar. Next up is pre-press and color management. This is absolutely crucial because it ensures your specific district brand standards are perfectly calibrated for large format output. Step 3 is site prep, so cleaning the walls and masking off active learning spaces to protect your floors and fixtures. Then step 4 is where the magic really happens, on-site printing. The printer travels vertically, executing this flawless, seam-free, UV lead-cured imagery. And finally, turnover. Because that ink cures instantly, you get an immediate return of the space, no waiting around. The reality is, most school walls print in hours, not days, with spaces returned to service the exact same evening. Let that sink in for a second. As experts in facility operations, we can tell you that this single fact completely shifts the entire procurement conversation. You get zero disruption to your bell schedules and absolutely zero expensive after-hours labor premiums for multi-day installations. It's huge. So let's look at how we actually apply this. Section 3, strategic campus applications, moving beyond simple decoration. Because really, this is about moving far beyond just simple decoration. It's about embedding actual function right into your architecture. Think about printing floor-to-ceiling directional markers that actually stay visible above crowded hallways. Or you can embed AED, tornado shelter, and critical egress information directly into the walls, which drastically reduces all that physical sign clutter. Imagine photoreal mascot features in your athletic corridors that literally cannot peel.
or multilingual arrows and distinct visual systems for your STEM or arts academies that seamlessly travel across floors and buildings. You're not just decorating, you are functionally upgrading your entire campus navigation. And this technology offers extreme versatility across literally any age group or environment. For instance, in early childhood spaces, K through 5, you can easily deploy high-contrast shapes and bilingual literacy prompts using glare-reducing matte finishes. Moving up to middle and high schools, you can create these incredibly durable StairCore landmarks or really engaging college readiness walls. And then in higher ed, you can scale right up to massive departmental identities and architectural museum-quality photographic exhibits printed directly onto raw brick or CMU block. It totally adapts to whatever specific educational environment you're running. All right, let's talk about the hard numbers. Section 4, Durability and Lifecycle ROI, the total cost of ownership. So the crucial point here is that by eliminating seams, edges, and sticky adhesives, we directly remove the most common costly failure points. The integrated finish bonds directly to the surface, so it behaves way more like a highly durable coating than a giant sticker. It easily withstands routine, aggressive hospital-grade wipe-downs without getting all cloudy. Plus, because it's cured instantly with UV light, it absolutely survives heavy humidity and those wild temperature swings you get in gymnasiums. And honestly, perhaps the best part for facility managers, it is perfectly paint-over ready. When your programs eventually change, you just scuff it and paint right over it. Simple as that. Let's methodically break down this total cost of ownership model. Because when procurement teams actually look at direct-to-wall printing, the life cycle economics are frankly undeniable. Having fewer failure points directly slashes your maintenance tickets for peeling edges or weird bubbles. Faster refreshes, that completely eliminates expensive multi-day demolition costs. Because production is done entirely on-site, you completely wipe out panel fabrication mistakes and those heavy freight charges. And that low disruption factor we talked about, avoiding those brutal weekend and after-hours labor premiums creates massive measurable life cycle efficiency for your district. It is also definitely worth highlighting how cleanly this whole process aligns with modern district sustainability frameworks. There is zero PVC-based vinyl utilized here, none. No adhesives, glues, or waxy release liners are being sent to your local landfills. Because it's so incredibly durable, it dramatically lowers those wasteful rip and replace waste cycles we're all too familiar with. And by skipping panel fabrication altogether, you are entirely eliminating the packaging waste and the carbon emissions associated with long-distance freight. It's just a highly efficient, performance-based approach to green operations. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the proof. Section 5, Case Studies in Action, Empirical Proof Across Substrates. First up, a Northeast K-12 district. They desperately needed a massive wayfinding refresh. The scope here was pretty wild. 18 separate buildings, all completed in a single summer, printing across both painted drywall and highly textured CMU. But using large photoreal icons and numerals, the visual clarity they achieved was just incredible. The operational result? The district logged 0 lost student calls during week 1 and had exactly 0 early year maintenance tickets for peeling signage. The tech handled that super tight summer schedule completely flawlessly. Next, we have a really high-stakes installation at a mid-Atlantic university. They were up against a strict overnight deadline, leading up to a massive homecoming event, and the install had to go directly onto raw brick and CMU block corridors. Well, through precise on-site color management, they achieved perfect brand color consistency even on those rough, tricky substrates. The seamless murals wrapped around the corners beautifully. The result was a flawless brand presence and, you guessed it, 0 edge repairs required in year 1. Here's a really unique one, a medical educational hybrid space at an urban children's hospital education wing. They needed calming nature imagery and clear wayfinding, but they had incredibly strict disruption controls and extreme hygiene requirements. The solution? Direct printing during low traffic hours, sealed with a highly durable protective topcoat. The result met their daily, super aggressive hospital-grade cleaning protocols perfectly, all while actively reducing physical sign clutter in those tight hospital corridors. Finally, let's look at a Southeast Community College trades building. The challenge here was achieving solid legibility on raw, unfinished, highly textured concrete right in the middle of a gritty industrial environment. By utilizing targeted ink density and a matte finish to control the intense shop lighting glare, they printed bold, highly contrasted lab safety graphics directly onto the raw concrete. Faculty immediately reported improved safety compliance simply because the rules were integrated right into the architecture rather than just hung on flimsy temporary posters. If there is one major takeaway from all of these real-world deployments, it is this. Durable, custom wall art for schools is no longer just a wish list item. It is a fundamental operational advantage, period. When you integrate your wayfinding, your branding, and your critical safety information directly into the architecture, you gain unbelievable clarity, cohesion, and durability, and you do it all without sacrificing your budget or your timeline. Which leaves us with one final thought today. Take a really hard look at your current procurement strategy and ask yourself, is your campus ready to upgrade its walls from high maintenance to high performance? Direct-to-wall printing is the practical, sustainable way to elevate your facilities and keep your operational focus exactly where it belongs, on teaching and on learning. Thank you so much for joining us on this explainer. As leaders in this space, we hope this deep dive has given you a powerful new tool for your facility management strategy. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and we will catch you on the next one.